Marketing Your Private Practice is a podcast where you'll learn easy to implement tips and strategies to grow your business without spending all day online. I'm your host, Colaiacovo, and I teach practitioners the Thrive marketing method to create simple and streamlined plans by focusing on long-term strategies, not just social media. Discover ways to spend less time on your marketing, attract more clients, and build the financial freedom that comes with a thriving practice. One where you have time left in your day for the people and things that matter to you. Lead magnets are the path to new clients for every practice owner. And if you think as a practitioner you don't need to be collecting leads, I want you to think again. Every business needs leads. They're the path to sales, and in your case, clients for your private practice. But often business owners struggle with creating a lead magnet that works because they aren't sure what will work best to get those new leads. Today, I'm sharing 20 different types of lead magnet ideas and formats that will help you come up with some ideas to create your own irresistible lead magnet that is going to help you build those leads that you need to get more clients. So let's get to it. Practitioners like you deserve a thriving practice helping your clients live long, healthy lives. But this won't happen if you're spending more time on marketing than you do working with clients. I'm Colaiacovo, marketing strategist for practitioners and dietitians, and I can tell you that marketing your private practice shouldn't be complicated or take hours a day. This podcast helps you build your confidence and skills with actionable and easy to understand marketing strategies, along with time-saving tips. You'll learn to spend less time on your marketing, how to attract more clients, and build the financial freedom that comes with a thriving practice, one where you have time left in your day for the people and things that matter to you. Hey, private practice heroes, it's Colaiacovo with Marketing Your Private Practice, and today we're going to talk a little bit about lead generation and lead magnets in particular. Lead generation is one of your 10 marketing foundations, number 8 in my list of foundations. And it is critical to finding and getting new people who we call leads. And the goal with lead generation is to convert those leads into clients for your practice or business. And honestly, every business needs to be doing this on a regular basis. Small businesses, huge corporations, even private practices, no matter how big or small you are. Your lead generation system is what is needed to get those new leads in the door. And that door might be in person or it might be online. And you do want to be bringing in new folks on a consistent basis because no business can survive only on the leads you have today. That pool will eventually dry up. To get your lead generation system working, there's several elements you need to consider including in it. But the number one element is that one thing that entices people to hand over their information and become an official lead. And that thing to entice people is your lead magnet. Now, if you're not exactly sure what a lead magnet is, here's my definition. A lead magnet is a free item someone gets from you when they give you their name and email address. Generally, you're going to collect their information directly into your email marketing system, and that system will then send out the lead magnet to them once they've filled out the form. Now, you can do lead generation without an email marketing system, but I promise you that manually trying to make this happen isn't going to be nearly as effective, and it will probably take you at least 5 times or more the amount of time to make that lead generation happen. There are many email marketing systems out there that you can start with for free or even low paid, and they come with all the features you need for someone to be able to enter their name and email, click in, send me the information, and then the system sends it all out to them. You can listen to episode 12 for a little more information on email marketing systems, or for a quicker answer, just DM me on Instagram. You'll find me at Pepper at Marketing, and I'll give you some ideas on some of my top recommended free or low-cost email marketing systems. Now, back to lead generation. So as I mentioned earlier, all businesses need leads because those leads are the path to sales. They're the path to building a thriving practice and having the financial freedom you wanted when you started in business in the first place. In today's online world, lead generation has really changed a lot, and there are so many ways for small businesses to be able to reach more people and reach them with a wider net. by offering them something that will convert them into a lead. And that's why your lead magnet is so critical. It is the main item that helps you change someone from just being a website visitor or someone who was connected to you on social media or who heard about you from a friend into a lead. Without having a lead magnet, it's really challenging to make that conversion happen and get that person more into your sphere of where you can talk with them and have some more conversation with them than if they're just out there in the ether world, looking at your website, maybe kind of scrolling around and seeing what you might have to offer. Having a lead magnet is something that can really hit home with them and help them understand you're the person that could be the solution to all their problems. The lead magnet helps you build that list of leads and prospects, and it gives people that way they can check you out. They are 100% more inclined to download something free from you before working with you. It's a good way to test out and see, can you really help them? Now, a lot of folks think, well, they just have to book a call with me. It's free. Well, sometimes booking a call is scary for people. It can be intimidating. Clicking a button to buy. Oh my gosh, I'm making a decision to buy something now. Having a lead magnet is something that can help them remove some of the doubt as to whether or not you're the person that can help them. It helps them know they're making the right decision when they decide they want to go a little further with you. So creating that lead magnet that people want, when people get to that stage in their practice or business, that's where a little bit of confusion comes in. They're often thinking all sorts of different questions like, what do I create? What kind should it be? What content goes in it? What format do I put it in? How do I even make one look really good? And then the big question, how do I get it all set up so people can grab it? That's one thing I often find in the world and the online space with lots of courses and programs out there. People will say, oh, just go get a lead magnet and put it up there. People sign up. Well, it's a little more complicated than that. And I get that. That's what I help people with all the time. And if you're asking these questions, they're normal questions and they're good ones to be asking because it shows you care about what you do with your business or practice to find those people and know that you are getting the right people in your door to help them with the services you offer. When we work on lead magnet development in the Thrive Marketing Academy, some of the typical problems members are having when they're creating their lead magnet really stand out when I think about some of the frustrations and roadblocks people have when it comes to doing lead generation. The number one problem most people have with this is just trying to figure out what makes a good lead magnet and what will people even want. Sometimes folks often get to this point and it just is too stressful and too confusing, and they really just stop and give up because they can't figure out what's going to be that irresistible lead magnet that will work for them. And it takes up a little too much brain space for them to try to figure it out. So often they abandon the idea. The second problem that a lot of folks have that I run into is that they have their lead magnet and maybe you've had it for a while and they've reworked it because it isn't working as well as they thought. Sometimes I've run into people actually trying to fix the entire thing up 3 times or more, just trying to get it to hit home and get people signing up. Yet no matter what they do, nobody seems to want to ask for the lead magnet and click enter and download it. And I know that some of you out there are probably thinking the same thing. Yep, I have that problem too. I've got it. It's out there and nobody seems to want it. And I keep fixing it and they still don't want it and not really knowing what the problem is. The last problem I typically see is that the content is actually good content in the lead magnet and people are requesting it, but it doesn't go any further. No one takes any action, and the leads that the members in my programs do get never turn into consults, let alone clients. These are all standard roadblocks many practice owners have when it comes to making an ideal lead magnet. Trying to create the right one that people will want and that will have them handing over their information without any hesitation. And as I mentioned earlier, sometimes the entire process just gets so frustrating and takes so much time, they literally give up. Or the other thing that I run into is they abandon the lead magnet that they have and just create another one without really having figured out what was wrong in the first place. And I never like someone taking this path either, because doing more of what's not working is never going to get you anywhere. You want to sit down, analyze the data, look at what you have, figure out what you can do to optimize it, Yes, sometimes it might be that you have to start all over, but typically that has not been the case. It's usually just doing a little bit of optimizing and making sure that your lead magnet has all the elements in it that are going to help it work for you. It's going to have the elements in it that will be the one that people look at it and think, yeah, that's what I want. And then they enter their name and email to get it. So if you've ever felt like any of this when it comes to creating your own lead magnet, then listen up, because today I'm going to give you some starting points on getting your lead magnet to that irresistible stage, the one where it's the one that everybody is racing to download. We're going to start today with the number one thing that you need to have in place to make sure that you create the irresistible lead magnet that is going to work for you, get you leads, and ultimately lead to clients. And this is going to be the deciding factor between people ignoring your lead magnet or having them request it day in and day out. And when you do it right, here's the thing. The people requesting it, they're going to be your dream clients because you've created something that they really want. So, are you ready for this? Drum roll on what is the thing that you have to do to create that irresistible lead magnet? You have to block out some time and plan it out. All right, I know that sounds a little boring, but it really does work. And it is the thing that a lot of people skip. Simple marketing still works. And if you take the time to plan out your lead magnet so that it is attractive to your ideal client, so that it is going to help them, and so that it has all the elements inside whatever you create in any format, it will become the one that people will want to download. Most of the folks that I've helped revamp their lead magnets have had to fix them because they just didn't have as much thought put into it as there could have been. I do find this process of planning a lead magnet is really helped along when you have an idea of the kind of lead magnet format that you can turn your lead magnet information into. And that's where we're going to talk about the 20 different types of lead magnets that you could create for your practice. Now, as we get into this, I'm going to share one pro tip about having your first lead magnet or getting one to work. Keep it simple. This is going to make it as easy as possible for you to get a win on both sides. A lead magnet people want and a lead magnet that does the job for you that you want it to do. So here's the 20 different types of lead magnet formats you can consider using for your own lead generation system. So we've got an ebook or a guide. Those are 1 and 2. And then checklists, or sometimes people refer to them as cheat sheets. Having templates that people can use and customize on their own is number 5. Doing a webinar. So that is also a lead magnet. A webinar, a free one, is something where people get access to the webinar by giving you their name and email. Scripts are another one that a lot of people like. I know I've downloaded as lead magnets several scripts on, scripts for sales calls or scripts for your email sequence or different things like that. And when you think about all of these lead magnet ideas I'm talking about here, most of them have one thing in common. They're going to save your client, that lead that you're trying to get there, some time, energy, and money in finding a solution to their problem. So when we think about scripts, they can save people a lot of time as well. Same with templates, cheat sheets, checklists. All of them can do this. Some folks call a lead magnet a toolkit, and this is often where you'll see a few things put together. So maybe a checklist and a guide along with a video training. So in cases like that, people might often refer to that lead magnet as a toolkit. A video training can also be a lead magnet if they get free access to it. It is typically something that is really helpful because if it's you on camera or talking to someone, it adds a little bit more of you into the lead magnet. And it's great because it's a good way for people to get to know you. Sometimes people will put together a mini e-course or an email course. Sometimes it's been called. So that would be a series of emails that have a lessons like sign up for our 7-day mini e-course. And every day you get something emailed to you with some information or something to learn. A challenge is another one that people call some of their lead magnets, and they can come across in many ways. A challenge could be one that somebody does just simply by email back and forth. These days, a challenge is often going to be something people host on Facebook. They get people in there, do live videos on there, do some free training with them, give them access to information like that. And a lot of times there might be some homework involved in getting people to take action from the lessons that are happening in the challenge. So a challenge can be a really good one as well. A quiz is another one, and quizzes are awesome sometimes because everybody likes to learn something about themselves. So when you have a quiz that, says like, hey, do you want to know if you're an emotional eater or not? Take our free quiz. That's the kind of thing that really can attract people because it's very specific. And if I do this, I'm going to learn something about myself. Quizzes you can do a couple ways. You can kind of go bootstrapping it, or you can use systems that help you run a quiz. So a lot of folks, when you're starting out, if you want to do a quiz, because I do think they're helpful, you can just create a PDF and you have all your questions of the quiz on it. And then in the quiz at the end, you give the scoring options so that people can figure out what they made as their result on the quiz so they know what to do next. And then often there will be more to a quiz where you would follow up with it and give people more information based on the results they had. You can also do a quiz. There's lots of different software or programs out there that you can connect to your website that are more interactive. So they start on a page and people enter their answers in, pick or choose, whatever it might be. And they come to the end. That's where they often put in their name and email, and then they'll get the results emailed to them as well. Quizzes can be really helpful just because people are always looking to learn about themselves. And a quiz is a more personalized type of lead magnet. So they can do really well if you hit home with the content you have in your quiz. An audio is another thing that you can give away as a lead magnet. I have a couple clients that offer MP3 audio recordings of meditations. So they're a good one to give as well. You just have to look at how you're going to set up and deliver that a little bit differently than you might certain other types of lead magnets. And with all of these ones, there are various ways that you'll need to set it up to make sure that when people ask for it, that you have a way to deliver it to them. Giveaways are another one. You can have people enter contests and giveaways, and they enter by entering their name and email. If you do run any of these through Facebook or Instagram or any of the social media channels, you also have to know that most of them have rules on what you can and can't do. And I encourage you to look that up first, because if you don't look that up, you could be violating their rules. And I've seen Facebook shut people down, close their accounts, and they're done, they're gone because they violated the promotional content guidelines for giveaways. Content upgrades are another one that you can create as well. And these are very similar. They could be an ebook, a guide, a checklist, or something. Often when I look at a lead magnet, I look at having a full lead magnet. So you have, a page for it, and you have a way to people to sign up and follow up emails that might come out. A content upgrade is often something you might use when you have a really good blog article with maybe some steps in it, and you want people to take it home and download those steps and make sure they are using it. So often people will make what we call a content upgrade. So maybe a quick PDF that they can download of the blog article or the steps that might have been in it. It usually isn't going to be something where you would have a full-blown lead generation setup and funnel ready. It's just a quick enter your name and email and here you go type of thing. Even though it's a quick one and doesn't have everything involved, it is a lead generator as well because you're getting their name and email to do that. Face-to-face marketing can be a type of lead magnet as well, especially if you are out there talking to people and getting information from them and sharing information and taking their info and adding it to your email list. A lot of times this might happen in situations when you're at trade shows or if you're at networking events or doing speaking at an event or a conference, no matter how big or small, whenever you're in any of those situations, if you have a way for people to give you their name and email so they can get something from you. Now, a lot of times this may happen face to face, and you may end up going home and sending them a PDF or adding them to your list. So however you do the face-to-face marketing and offering a lead magnet there, something they can get for free by giving them your name and email, which could be as simple as a draw at a sponsor booth or different things like that. That type of lead magnet, you just want to make sure that if people are signing up for it and not filling something out on your website connected to your email system, that among the sign up somewhere is information on them giving you permission to send them emails as well. So that's more of a compliance issue, but you just want to make sure you do that. A free trial can also be a lead magnet. A lot of people have membership programs or different monthly recurring options for buying different things. I have one client that had a membership in a meal plan and recipe group. And I have my own membership, the Inner Circle. Sometimes what is a really good lead magnet is a free trial, 2-week trial, 1-month trial, whatever it might be. In order to get it, people have to sign up and get that. Case studies are another really good type of lead magnet, or some people might refer to them as a white paper. So kind of sharing an example of how someone was having an issue, how you worked together, did whatever you did, they took the action steps, and then they had the transformation and the change they had in the long run. So case studies can be a really good option for you as well. It depends on your market, okay? If your market is generally what I would say more is the general public and they're just looking to get help from you, if you're a therapist or a dietitian, depending on the type of services you have, a case study might not be as enticing to them as something that's going to help them do something personally, but it really depends on your situation as well. Number 19 in this list is coupon codes. Everybody likes to save money, and especially in today's economy. If you can offer a coupon code, that is a really good way to get a lead magnet as well. It is typically more for a product-based type of business, but there are definitely ways in a service-based business that you can offer coupon codes and use that as a lead magnet too. And if you think about it, you've probably signed up for hundreds of these lead magnets on your own. When you go to Best Buy or Bed Bath & Beyond or any website online, they typically have a pop-up that if you enter your name and email, they're going to give you 10% off or 15% off, whatever it is. By filling that out, you've actually become a lead on their lead magnet system, and you did it because you wanted that coupon code. So the same reasons that we all sign up for those online are the reasons why others will do the same for us. And number 20 on this list is a free consult. And this list can go on and on. By no means is it a complete list of every type of lead magnet out there. But when you look at all of these different options and variations, most people see them as lead magnets when you talk about them. Except number 20, a lot of people never really think of as the free consult as a lead magnet. But it is. People typically have to sign up and give you their name and email to get that access. And honestly, I refer to as consults as kind of the MVP of lead magnets, the most valuable piece. It's a free call where you will be talking with that lead directly. So in your mind, it's definitely the MVP. And sometimes for the person on the other end, it is as well. Some people will book that call, and those lead magnet calls to action to book a call will work well. Some may not. Some may find it intimidating. And that's why often having another option like a checklist or an ebook or an audio or something can help you make sure that no matter what situation people find you in, they've got a couple options to test you out in one way or another with a different type of lead magnet. So it doesn't really matter what format you put it in, but I sometimes find when you're planning your lead magnet, thinking of the different ways that you could put it into a different format will help you do the planning a little easier. And honestly, this is why taking the time to plan out a lead magnet is so important. Number one, it's going to help you put the content into your lead magnet that's going to do its job. You want it to be so enticing that people will drop their name and email in a hot minute to get their hands on it. Planning helps you make sure that that's a possibility. And then you've got them in your lead generation system, and you're hopefully going to have things set up really well so that it leads them down the path so they know what their next step is with you. When you plan your lead magnet out in this way, it really does help you keep the quality of the leads high on your list. And that's how you're going to kind of pre-qualify these leads to know they might be a good fit to work with you. If they really want to know what was in that lead magnet and that lead magnet content was created with your ideal client in mind, then it's going to be much more helpful than if you just sort of plan something on the fly without any thought as to where it might lead somebody when you're doing this. And that's why taking that time is important. It does mean more time to plan it. It means more time on the front end, but I promise you it will pay off in the long run. When we look back to some of the problems people have with making lead magnets, reworking them over and over is one of the biggest issues people have. And when you do the planning and you factor in everything that you want to make sure you include in that so it can do its work and so that people do exactly what you hope they will once they consume the info, that's when you realize how important the planning was in the first place. When I talk to a lot of folks will ask, well, you keep saying, Kathy, that's an effective lead magnet. What does that mean? Well, I call an effective lead magnet when it has the 7 specific elements I'm always looking for when I do assessments and reviews of them. These 7 elements are the things that are going to help the lead magnet do its job of attracting new leads and convert those leads into clients for you. I teach the elements to members in my Thrive Marketing Academy to make sure they have optimized lead magnets that get out there and do their job. And the reason the elements are so important is because they help them do a few things. One, it helps make sure that the information is something their ideal client wants. It helps them catch their attention. So if they see or hear about it, they want to know more. And that's something where when they do get the information in it, it is actually information they were looking for and help them, which helps build the trust in you as the person that they want to reach out to for their next steps. And so that's why the planning is so important. One of my program members did some upgrades and we optimized her lead magnet from when she first came into the program. And what happened to her in particular, she was missing element number 7 in her ebook. And once she put that element in and we kind of did some other things to fix it up, we added a cover image and we made sure her information was in there. But putting all of that into there, all of a sudden she started seeing a boost of consults and an increase in how many people were booking that free call with her. And it was because she had the whole path planned out with this ebook that she had. What started happening after that is she started having about 15% of the people who booked the consult from those lead magnets and from the call to action in there, those people started turning into clients. So all of a sudden, people that were downloading her lead magnet, more of them were contacting her for a consult. And then people in that group started converting into clients. And that's why the 7 elements are really important to include in your lead magnet. I do teach about them, as I said, in an entire module in the Thrive Marketing Academy. And on occasion, and for some other special trainings I offer, I do teach about them as well. There is one of these free trainings coming up in November of 2022, and you can hear more about that at the end of this episode. The critical lesson I really want you to know about today is that no matter what type of lead magnet you're thinking about, that you have already or you're planning to have, and no matter which one of the 20 types you create, or even if you create another type that's not in this list of 20, that lead magnet has got to appeal to your dream client, the people you love working with. And making that happen is going to start with taking the time to plan for that to happen. So your action step from today is when you're thinking about your lead generation system that you have in place, as you think about your lead magnet, whether you're making a new one or updating one that's not working well, I want you to make sure that you align your lead magnet with a paid program or service. And you've got to focus your content on your ideal client. And the reason that you do this is you want to make sure that whatever program or service you're selling, or is the ultimate goal that you want people to sign up for when they come through this path, your lead generation funnel, that it's going to send them to the right spot. So that's why making sure that you ask these 2 questions is critical when you're creating a lead magnet. What program or service are you selling or want to sell from people who download this lead magnet? And who is your ideal client for this program or service? When you kind of factor that in and then think about the different types of lead magnets you can create from our list of 20, think about what will be the best format for the kind of information you want to share with that ideal client. When you do this and put all of this into your planning, it is going to help you create that irresistible lead magnet that people want. Now, if you're doubting that your lead magnet is working well, or you're not sure, or you've been reworking it over and over, Why not get some help so you aren't wasting time getting it up and working? Book a quick call with me and I will let you know. We'll talk about your lead magnet. You can send me a copy of it and I'll let you know if there are any of my free training classes being offered to help you, or if there's some other way that I can help you get a path to helping you plan and create your own irresistible lead magnet. I'll put a link to my calendar where you can book that call with me in the show notes, or DM me on Instagram and I'll just send you the link right over that way as well. I want you to remember, your practice, like every other business, needs some marketing to be happening on a consistent basis, and lead generation is part of that process. Never ignore it. Having that lead magnet in place that your ideal client wants will help you find new leads, and they will turn into clients. I promise you, if you're doing some of this regular and consistently, you're going to see the results you're looking for. But planning it out is key to having a lead magnet that works. It's got to be something that your ideal client is looking for. And when it is, it's so much more attractive to them, and particularly to the dream client you're looking for. So if you want to get any of your hands on the resources I mentioned today, or read some more information on this and see some of what we're talking about that you're hearing in the audio in text form, you can definitely visit our show notes page at marketingyourprivatepractice.com/13. I'm wishing you all the best as you get into planning mode here. If I can help you in any way, definitely reach out, and I will see you next time. You can find all of the show notes from Marketing Your Private Practice with Kathy C. and the resources mentioned in this podcast at marketingyourprivatepractice.com. I'd love to connect with you on Instagram. You can find me there by searching for Pepper It Marketing. I'd love to hear any feedback you have on the podcast, and be sure to review us online and hit subscribe on your favorite player so you don't miss any future episodes. You can find all of our show notes and resources mentioned at marketingyourprivatepractice.com. Be sure to connect with me on Instagram at pepperitmarketing and say hi. I'd love to hear any feedback you have, and make sure to rate and review the podcast and hit subscribe on your favorite player so you don't miss any future episodes.